You're listening to The Lyndia Grant Show. Think on these things with Lyndia Grant.
We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created
Well, good evening, Radio 1 listeners, and now to the world. We're doing our podcast. This is our first episode in 2026. I'm so happy to have Denise Rollard Barnes and Stuart Anderson, her co-chairs for the Martin Luther King annual Peace March Parade, and they have a whole group of activities. So that's why I wanted to do a podcast, because on my radio show, we get a chance to tell them some of it on Radio 1 Spirit 1340. But we get a chance on the podcast, listeners. When you go to my YouTube channel, you should see both of them. Right now, we're going to just talk like we do on Radio 1. And we're going to just talk about, tell the listeners, in 7 or 8 minutes, and we can ask questions until we get around 10 or 12 minutes. And then we're going to go to a commercial break. And then we're going to come back and go into details. So Denise is the founder of the Martin Luther King Peace March. And I think you call it a peace march, but it's a parade. And it's very large now. They have it on TV, and Stuart is our co-chair. Talk to us about that, the vision of it and how it got started and how's it doing.
So, Lindy, it's good that we set the record straight. So one of the things I want folks to do is to go to mlkholidaydc.org. That's our website.
Okay.
When you visit that website, you'll get a lot of history and details, and also the list of activities that are taking place this year. As you know, in the early 70s, my dad, Dr. Rollard, my stepmother, Wilhelmina Rollard, and Petey Green got together right after, not long after the assassination of Dr. King, and during the time that there was a push to have a federal holiday named after Dr. King. And so for the listeners that don't know, Martin Luther King Avenue was formerly Nichols Avenue. And Councilmember Rollard, who again served on the council for 16 years, was responsible for making the name change to Martin Luther King Avenue. And all of this was done, after Dr. King's assassination and prior to the establishment of a national holiday. And so at that point, the three of them got together. They held the first Martin Luther King parade I don't know if it was Nichols or Martin Luther King at the time. Stevie Wonder attended.
Wow.
Stuart can fill in some of the details, but that parade went for several years during the time that she served on the council. And it was a very long parade. It was about 2 miles long. And rain, snow, sleet, or hail, folks were out there marching and commemorating Dr. King's birthday. Well, time goes on. There are other council members. There are other things that got in the way of the MLK parade. So it was basically discontinued. One day, myself, Yango Sawyer, community activist, Keith Silver, also a community activist, the three of us had a conversation and said, we should just have a march. Let's just march for Dr. King. How can we not do something on Martin Luther King on the holiday? Because by this time, how can we not do something on Martin Luther King Avenue? And so we got together all of the organizations in the city that were involved in peace and stopping the violence and all of that. There are a lot of, organizations that still exist that are in that work. Now there are even more. And we did a peace walk. That's what we called it, because we didn't have the, wherewithal to put a parade together. So we did a peace walk, and Mayor Fenty joined us. and we only had the sidewalk. We only had permission to walk on the sidewalk. It was amazing. A couple hundred people showed up.
Mm-hmm.
And Mayor Fenty told the MPD, look, give them the street. And we marched up Martin Luther King Avenue, and
Even on the first one?
the very first one.
Look, I know because of doing Georgia Avenue Day, you got to go to the mayor, especially the task force, and get everything approved. But when the mayor said, put y'all on the street, you were on the street.
We're on the street.
We didn't know anything. We didn't know anything about no special task force for events.
Yeah.
I should have called you, Lyndia, because I know how much you all put into the Georgia Avenue. That was a parade in DC.
Yes, it was.
So you did amazing work there. I could have used your advice on that. Probably still could. But at any rate, yeah, so, over time of doing a peace walk, there was just this demand from the community and within our committee, because we, every year we said, we're going to do this peace walk. We're going to do a peace walk. And someone said, look, when are we going to do a parade again? And Stuart and I were saying, a parade is a lot different.
A lot of work.
Walk. There are more costs involved. There are more.
Got to get permits.
Oh, yeah.
It can be a chore, but we heard the call and we proceeded to do that, and here we are. What, 21 years later?
21,
oh my gosh!
Yes.
After watching the parade with Dr. Rollard, stopping and now you're doing both the peace walk and the parade. I love it.
Yes. Yep.
And it's so huge. I know it's on News Channel 80. You all are broadcasting live usually every year, right?
Well, it helped because we had one of our announcers for the parade was Sam Ford. Sam Ford brought in, WJLA and News Channel 8.
Oh, wow. Love Sam Ford. He used to announce for Georgia Avenue Day.
Exactly. So they were great partners with us in the beginning, and they, actually filmed the whole thing and did stories. I mean, time has passed and that, it's not the same kind of exposure, but they're still very supportive, as are most of the media outlets in DC, including, the Radio One, because they come out, they'll broadcast, they'll provide, entertainment. So it's a community event that we are so proud to keep on Martin Luther King Avenue in Ward 8.
Well, tell us your list, because we got to keep the first part of our show for the radio. So let's make sure we tell them all the activities that are going on for the weekend, and then we'll come back and talk some more about each one.
Well, I'm gonna toss it to Stuart, who I should say, Lyndia, before he gets on, is that Stuart sort of, became like a right hand, amazed at how, I don't know, dedicated he was to this.
Yes.
Your right hand becomes, the dominant hand. And that's come, with this. I mean, we couldn't do this. One year I was worried because Stuart, was on crutches, but he's still out there marching with us.
Yes.
Yeah. So let me first say that I am honored to be partnered with Denise Rollard Bonds. I am truly honored. I probably don't tell her enough how honored I am. It's no secret that, I spent some time in prison, and I used to read The Informer when I was in prison. And even before then, right, I knew about her father. I knew about, this phone is crazy, but I knew about her father. I knew about the great work that was being done by the Black United Fund, right, and everything, and never in my wildest dreams, this little kid from DC, I wasn't even fortunate enough in my life to actually be able to claim any of the quadrants, because I moved around so much as a child. And so I'm from the city, but I never thought that I would be interacting and engaging with people who were a part of this organization that was sending people to college and all this other stuff that her father and her stepmother were doing, right? And so, and then when you confined, you learn and find things to do that are productive to stay out of mess. And I'm reading every day. I'm reading the Informer and I'm reading all the stuff that they're doing and following stuff. And then I come home and a guy named Yango Sawyer says, Stu, why you didn't come to the peace walk? I said, what peace walk? I was lost. He said, we had the peace walk. The man was on the everything. I said, oh, okay, I'm going to come next time. And so I did. And so the other part of what I do is I work with our young people just trying to keep Black kids from going to jail. Simple as that. That's what I do.
That's good.
That's
outstanding.
Yes. And so Yango said, why you ain't bring the kids with you? You're supposed to bring the kids. And so the next year I came and I brought about 25 kids. And the rest is kind of history, as they say. I just started attending the planning meetings and people asking questions and things of that nature. And one day, Keith Silver said, okay, you gonna be the logistic guy. I said, oh, okay. And then, I don't know, Denise takes credit for it and I'm fine with her taking credit for it. The next thing I know, I'm the co-chair.
Oh,
and
my goodness. That's so good.
So it's been a pleasure.
She know you were working, that's why.
He was right in here with me. I was
in her office.
Oh,
that was good.
I just go to the office every day, like I work for the paper, right? And I shared a desk with some of the other reporters. I just would use a desk where nobody sitting there, but I would sit at this one desk more than others. And so when I would come in, they would say to me, "You need your desk." But it was fun, learning more about the paper and everything. But really being able to keep the life and legacy of Dr. King alive is what's been really the hook for me, to be able to pass along some of his ideas to successive generations and have them have some idea of what King did for all of us.
Yes.
And that's been the piece for me. That's why.
Well, tell us what the schedule is.
Yeah.
Okay. From beginning to end.
So from beginning, so we
But this year.
For this year, right? 2026, we back outside. As the young folks say, we outside. Well, the MLK Peace Walk and Parade is back outside, and we're going to start in Berry Farms. But before we get to January 19th, Monday, January the 19th for 2026, there is a week of activities that take place, and we're not all the way clear. Some of the things are still being jailed, but the very first thing we do is we have an event, and this will be the third annual event that's held at Living Word Church, and that's on the southwest leg of Martin Luther King Jr. Avenue. And part of the reason why we're there at Living Word is that Living Word is part of 4 churches that I always talk about because it's what I read and what I knew. It might have been some others. I missed those chapters, but Living Word, Covenant UUC, Campbell, and Bethlehem, their pastors were social justice and successive pastors are social justice pastors who kind of were a part of that whole cadre of people along with Denise's father and stepmother and Ralph Waldorf, Petey Green, who I used to hear on the radio, they were the ones pushing for this national holiday. So we try to do things at those churches. So a Living Word on Monday is the opening for everything else that we do to promote life and legacy of Dr. King. And the other thing that is etched in stone is that on Saturday, we'll have 2 events that are etched in stone. We know we're going to do these. Number 1 is the prayer breakfast.
Yes.
Pastor Thompson has come along and become kind of our POC for the prayer breakfast. She's been in that position, I guess, at least 6 years, if not 7. And she does a wonderful job with the rest of the committee, pulling together a really, what I would say, not just celebratory, but really commemorative type of prayer breakfast to honor Dr. King and talk about issues that we face right now today, especially some of this stuff with, I won't go into that.
I know.
but the prayer breakfast is kind of like a real kind of symbolic piece to honor King. And we have an essay contest. I've shared the flyers in the chat for you. We have an essay contest, and so the high school winner will be announced during the prayer breakfast, and then we're going to figure out when we announce the middle and the elementary school winners. But we had 130 entries. Denise said the other day when we were talking on another show, and people say our children don't write and read and stuff. Well, we had 100 of our young people.
That is so outstanding.
130 last year, and I think we're around 100 this year of individuals who will be participating in our essay contest. Covenant, I mentioned Covenant. Covenant has, from the beginning, when they were fighting, tugging, and one of the things we got to make sure that we know, that people know, is that here in DC, we were celebrating Dr. King's life and his legacy 2 years prior to a national holiday.
Yes.
We were already doing it. We, you know what I'm saying, in the streets, doing different stuff. And the work that Denise and I do now follows in that footsteps. Somebody in the meeting said, given all the stuff that's happening, all of the kind of cultural recessive stuff that's happening, what are we going to do if they abolish the federal holiday? I said, we're going to do exactly what we did.
What we've been doing. That's right.
We're going to celebrate Dr. King
because it is an approved federal holiday, and we got a monument to go with it. So forget about anything somebody's saying. Yes.
That's it. And
Let me help you say it.
Thank you. But I didn't want to mess your show up. See, I'll be the
Oh, no. I'm glad to say so.
So, if they tore down the statue, we still going to celebrate King. Why? And we're going to try to get another one up.
Yeah.
But after that, Covenant has always devoted its Sunday service prior to the birthdays, the national holiday. They have devoted their Sunday service to talking about life and legacy of Dr. King, and they have some really powerful pastors that they've brought in. And we urge members of our committee, because it's not just me and Denise, it's a bunch of us, and we all go to that service and participate in that service. I also know that Covenant is doing something on Saturday also, to further highlight just the stuff that we try to do in terms of making sure people understand that it is important for us to lift up us.
Yes.
And so then game day. So right now I'm told that we have over 100. We have over 100 participants registered and ready to go. And the numbers are going to climb. They're going to climb between now and Saturday. We might get another 50 groups. But right now, today, I'm told we have over 100 participants registered that's going to meet us in Berry Farms. And that's where we're going to start, right in Berry Farms on First Sterling and Sumter Road.
Is that the march and parade combined? Help me understand.
So yes, they both will start right there, halfway up Sumter Road, or a third of the way up Sumter Road, will be the assembly and the rally for the peace walk. So there's a peace rally that takes place right before the walk. And that rally, we've been urging people, Denise and I have really been urging people that are a part of the group that have become these POCs for aspects of what we do. Let's start seriously, intently looking to our youth and try to get them involved in the things that we have planned for Dr. King's commemoration. And so I am so proud. I was really proud in our last meeting when Edward Hardy, who is a young man who now partners with Dewan Mason to facilitate our peace walk, right? So he was just talking about how he was proud that I saw in him something to bring him in. I was glad that he took it. I was glad that he was willing to take it on. And now he is helping to reshape the minds of some people who are younger than himself, that he's going to be trying to pull to the forefront so that he can hand that baton off to them. And then a few years from now, they'll be leading the peace walk. So that's the work that we're trying to do. And the Peace Walk will start, like I said, about a quarter of the way up Sumner Road in front of the parade.
At what time? What time?
So the rally will start right around 9-ish, right? They'll start that. And then around 9:40, they'll start assembling themselves to step off at 10:15. We want them moving because we want the Peace Walk to basically be distinct from the parade. And so they will be probably 10, 15 yards in front of the parade.
Okay.
And then the parade will step off no later than 11 a.m. One of my proudest things about the time that I have been a part of this thing as the logistics coordinator and now the co-chair is that every year that I've been involved in this, we have ended this procession, no matter how many participants, by 2 p.m. or earlier.
Good.
We get in front of the man's task and they be saying, well, how long is this going to take? I say, well, I guarantee you this, we'll be done at 2 p.m. Yeah. And so
if I can add, Lyndia, too, we have had challenges in establishing a parade route every year. We're very satisfied right now with the route that we have, but, Anacostia has developed. And there are a lot of, we call it the Black Wall Street of DC, because most of the new businesses down the Martin Luther King corridor and on Marion Barry Avenue are Black-owned establishments. And Mayor Bowser wanted to make sure that, we kind of amplified the development in that area by bringing the parade down that street. We are excited that a lot of the businesses who have cooperated, and the new businesses that are there that will cooperate, Sweet Tooth, Grounded, Bus Boys and Poets, what is it, Martha's Table,
Domino's Pizza,
will all be participating. And so people don't have to stay outside. They can go in and grab something to eat. You all used to do it for Georgia Avenue Day.
I was getting ready to say that's what used to happen. They started cleaning up and because it was in the summertime, they put chairs outside, but it's cold. So I guess, you got to invite people in out of the cold this time.
And sometimes they set up outside. They'll put
They still do? Okay.
They still do, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, because you can have heaters out there.
They be bundled up. They be bundled up like, you know how you see some of our, I hate to even point to it and make it a point, but how some of our less fortunate people, our homeless people in the city, how they be bundled up. Man, they be out bundled up all the way up and down MLK. Denise just talked about the mayor urging us to bring the parade into Anacostia as opposed to starting and leaving out of it, right? Because we used to start right there at 2500 MLK and go up the hill. Sometimes we went to Covenant, sometimes we went to as far as Living Word and Lecky. In years past, we was going all the way to PR Harris. But I preferred that route, but people would be on their porches wrapped up in their stuff, and some of them may even have had heaters on their porch. I don't know, but they would be all lined up out there. Part of the problem with that is you got to go past St. Elizabeth, right? And they call that the dead zone. Why do we got to keep going past the dead zone,
It's a long space with no people, right?
Yeah. I had a vision of... Go ahead, Denise.
Yeah, because of we're glad that we have a new hospital in Ward 8, but it did alter, our route. So
yeah, I actually had visions right before the hospital was even, before they broke ground, knowing that it was about to happen. I'm saying, yeah, we get the hospital, maybe we get them to sponsor, and maybe we can get bleachers and have bleachers lined up.
I was thinking that, yeah. I was thinking you get some sponsors and put people there.
Yeah, that's what that's one of my visions in the back of my head that we could do. But we're not doing that now. We're going to start.
Yeah, you got to work your way up to that.
And the other thing is this, though. With the new development in Barry Farms, the route that we have today, from First Sterling and Sumner Road to Marion Barry and MLK is going to be a really, really nice route because we're going to have all of those the residential stuff that's coming to Berry Farms will be up in a couple years. They're already, they've already topped off a couple of the other high-rise buildings and they're finishing one up. One is already occupied. So we'll have all those people hanging out their windows, like we used to. Because one time back in the day, I led a contingent out of Berry Farms, and then we joined the parade procession in front of 2500, and then we went up the hill together. And so we could, be doing stuff like that with people who live right there in Berry Farms, become a part and parcel of a celebration of life and legacy of Dr. King.
It sounds good. I'm excited about it. I'm going to ask Denise if she will go over the schedule again because you put in so much detail. It's not going to fit my radio show. I'm trying to get a segment in this podcast, and I don't mind listeners knowing this is our first show, that I can cut, my editor can cut for radio. So now you got to do the radio version, Denise.
Okay, so on Monday, January the 12th, we will have an event at that's where Stuart comes in.
Living Word
Church on Martin Luther King Avenue in Southwest. I don't have the address in front of me, but at Living Word Church, it's an evening
of remembrance
program, an evening of remembrance that will start, I think it's 6 to 9 on Friday. Actually, we Covenant Baptist Church will have its third annual lecture. I think that's actually on Saturday. I'm trying to make this for you. To make this work for you, Lyndia. But anyway, let's jump to the prayer breakfast. So on Saturday, January the 17th, we'll have our 8th annual prayer breakfast at Covenant Baptist Church. It will begin at 9 a.m. and end at 12:30 p.m. Covenant is located at 3845 South Capitol Street Southwest. The Right Reverend Marianne Edgar Buddy, who's the Bishop of Washington Episcopal Diocese of Washington, D.C., will be our speaker. Tickets are available. Again, you can go to mlkholidaydc.org and get your tickets. We hope that and I'm so excited the Eastern High School Choir will be performing. We have
yes.
Who will be performing. So that's going to be a great event. And on Sunday, again, we go back to Covenant, where their speaker will be presented, and they have their annual MLK Sunday worship service. And then at 9 a.m. on Monday, January the 19th, the MLK holiday, the Peace Walk will gather at Sumner and Firth Sterling Avenue in Southeast. Also is the place where the parade will begin, and the parade and Peace Walk will kick off at 10:30 a.m. and we will be going down Martin Luther King Avenue from Sumner to Marion Barry Avenue on Monday, January 19th, beginning at, as I said, 10:30 and ending no later than 2 o'clock. We also have volunteer
health fair.
Oh, yes. In there, we also will have our health and wellness fair that's going to take place at the parking lot, the PNC parking lot on Martin Luther King Avenue, next door to Busboys and Poets. And we also have a volunteer community cleanup project that's also going to take place on the 19th. And those folks will gather at 10:30 at the PNC parking lot as well. So I think that's all of it.
Okay. Very good. Sounds good. But tell them to go to the website again.
Yes, please go to mlkholidaydc.org mlkholidayDC.org. Again, that's mlkholidayDC.org. And all of the details, the flyers and all the information's there. We ask you to sign up if you want to participate. There's still room for participants. You can still buy tickets for the prayer breakfast, and you can take those flyers and share them on your social media platforms to help us to promote this event.
Very good. Stuart, you want to say some more?
Oh, look, participate, man. You guys have really got to participate. If we don't participate in honoring and recognizing and lifting up and promoting people like Dr. King, then who's going to do it?
Mm-hmm.
If we don't talk about, the importance of it from an individual perspective, how will our children and our successive generations begin to do that? I mean, we look around, we live in the most powerful city in the world, for real. This city is I'm not even going to say this is the most powerful city in the world. And when we look at this city, when we look around this city, and we see the edifice that have been erected to people of stature, right? Not often do they look like you and I.
Mm-hmm.
And so it is important for us to wrap our arms around the few pieces of things that speak to our historical lineage in the city and make sure that others know about it. If not you and I, then who? I'm about to use one of Denise's father's things. Look, it's got to be Lottie Dottie and everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And if it is to be, it's up to me. So that's why I do it, and that's what I encourage other people to do.
And then I want to ask also to give us some, who's your parade grand marshal? Who are some of your guest speakers? Who's in the parade? Some of the highlights.
Okay, so
what people might get excited to come out for.
Okay, we have a young guy who works with Martha's Table. He's grown up in Southeast, Ward 8 particularly, Charlie Gussum, He's a young man who has been involved in a lot of different cultural and community type things. He has a for-profit organization called Community Connoisseurs. And so they put out apparel and things of that nature. And so people are rocking their stuff around this city. And so having him as a grand marshal to talk about, what he's done, the contributions that he and the organizations that he worked with have made is a wonderful pick. Mm-hmm. Another pick is Dewan Mason. We've mentioned her a couple of times. She's our POC for the Peace Walk, Peace Rally and Peace Walk. But Dewan also is really on the ground in the city, and in particular, east of the Anacostia City, having worked with Free DC early on. She has been doing a lot of community engagement work. I think I first met her when she was with, I can't remember now, but she was working with Brown, what's his name? I can't think his name now, but that, it's been years ago, but she has been doing this community work and really uplifting the community and things of that nature. So she's one of our grand marshals, along with Mario.
Yes, Lyndia, Romeo Spalding.
Spalding, yes. And so
fighters who actually has a tremendous story. We're going to interview him about his relationship with the first march that Dr. King led here in Washington, D.C. We don't have too many folks that are still with us.
Mm-hmm. That was here for that. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And can tell us about what it was like to be a part of it and everything, and why it's important for us to continue to do the work that we do. We also have an organization. So we're honoring an organization this year, Harriet's Wildest Dream, and so organizationally, they have just they sprang out of nowhere. You probably got to do a story on that too, Denise, because I can't even remember when they actually came out. But they are a young organization that has done some phenomenally powerful work, supporting families that have been devastated by all types of violence. I'll put it that way. But they are community advocates at the core. And the last Grand Marshal for this year is, and you heard me mention Free DC, but Anise Jenkins was a part of those who helped to develop the first kind of leg of Free DC, that gave rise to what we are seeing Free DC in the community doing now. And so we honor Anise Jenkins for her years of service and work in the community as a community advocate, and working alongside of she's someone else who was around for those early marches here in the city.
And
those are the likes.
What about the parade? Tell us who's in. I saw you write something in the chat about it.
So I know that things are still unfolding and unraveling, right? But I do know that I talked with Peg today. Peg Gilgannon, right? Used to be Sam Ford. You heard Denise talk about Sam Ford. So Peg used to be Sam Ford's Canberra person. And so when Sam retired or whatever, or when Peg retired, I don't know, Peg retired first, right?
Well, Stuart, I think we want to get to the point of.
Oh, yeah. So anyway, but she joined the committee and everything, and she now reaches out to the bands and everything. And so we definitely are going to have Eastern High School Band. Baloo has been the anchor for most of the years that I have been involved in the parade. Last year, they basically said, hey, now we want to be somewhere else in the parade. We want to be up front or something, or in the middle. So, but they will definitely be a part of what we're doing. And Anacostia High School Band, I know that those bands are going to be involved in the parade. They will be marching and playing. I haven't seen the full list, but there are a number of our little people who have been in the parade procession, who plan to be in the parade procession. And I believe that Malcolm X Elementary School is going to come forward and be a part of it. We've had some other little teams come out and be a part of it. I can't think of the group.
That's okay. That's fine. You're giving us a general kind of what they usually come out. It's good enough.
And what
dancers?
Lyndia is, I remember Councilmember Rolart saying back in the day, this parade is a chance for the community to come and actually celebrate not only the life and legacy of Dr. King, but to celebrate the positive activities of young people. So we're glad that we have, last I heard it was 9 or 10 marching bands that will be participating. We've had some to come from Baltimore, New Jersey,
Philly.
And yeah, so this is a recognized event. And while you say celebrities, we don't really always on them, but we're always happy when they show up, and sometimes they just show up. Been happy to have been joined by the King family.
Yes.
In one of our marches, as well as members of the Congressional Black Caucus, and just other folks. I can't think of his name. That the television
Nick Cannon.
Cannon showed up one time. He just dropped in on us, and so as my daddy used to say, this is an event that welcomes Lottie Dottie and
everybody. Yes, because when you've been doing it for 20 years, it becomes automatic.
Exactly.
Gets on a schedule, folks' schedule.
Sort of, kind of. We got to get the permits in.
Yeah, folks automatically look for it. And it was a little, we've been interrupted by inaugurations. And President Obama, we had a destination one year, and they told us the day of we had to cut our parade short because something was happening at Lecky School, and we found out when we got there that President Obama was inside. We're trying to do our best to get him to come and spend a couple of minutes with us, but that didn't work. But
They sent us out lunches and said, "Hey, y'all gotta eat that out there."
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's where our kids were gonna, after the parade, go and have lunch. So,
Well, if you all have any closing comments, we've used up almost an hour, so we've been giving the folks something to know about what's going on in Ward 8 with the Martin Luther King Parade and
Yeah.
Peace March and all the other events, the essay contest, the prayer breakfast, and the Peach March,
Yeah. Day of Remembrance.
the Day of
Mhm.
Remembrance. Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes, yes. I'd be remiss if I didn't say that. You know, that Molly be saying, "I ain't talk. You didn't talk about the Day of Remembrance."
I'll just
Eh,
close. Oh,
yes, go ahead. I was going to ask to give me an explanation of why there is a Day of Remembrance.
Well,
What is that? What does that mean? Is it about Dr. King or is it about other people or all?
the East of the River Clergy Police Community Partnership, I think celebrated a significant anniversary recently, and that was an organization where clergy and police and community folks would get together, and they were addressing the issue of violence. And so Reverend Motley, who's been a native of Ward 8 and involved in the community for years, wanted to have this Day of Remembrance, not only for Dr. King, but just to remember the nonviolent work that ERCP led for a while, and continues, I guess, to lead in Ward 8. So it's to remember, the work that's been put in and the lives that we've lost, because we cannot forget, that we've had a lot of violence in the city.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where I think all of that kind of gets tied together
Mm-hmm.
for that evening, on the first Monday prior to the parade. So
But I just want to invite listeners to go to the website, MLK Holiday Celebration,
holidaydc.org, MLK.
holidaydc.org,
Exactly.
and they can purchase tickets there as well.
You can purchase
Yes.
tickets for the prayer breakfast. The parade is not,
Right, it's free.
there's cost for automobiles. If you want to put a car in the parade, there's going to be a fee for that.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, there's not a participation fee. So if you're part of an organization and you want to be a part either of the Peace Walk or in the parade, you just go to the website and sign up there.
Very good.
And I don't think that either of us actually said the theme for this year.
Yes.
And
Mm-hmm.
so appropriately, the theme is the struggle is real and the fight is still.
Yes, it is.
You know. And so in the face of all that's happening, we believe that that was an appropriate theme for our entire commemoration of life and legacy of Dr. King.
As Black folks, we know, Lyndia, that we're making progress, but we always think that oh, the fight is over.
Yeah.
We've been taking 2 steps backwards lately, and we got to work hard to keep going forward. We got to keep right on going forward.
Fight is still, and everybody's needs.
We got to make sure the kids read our books, and we got to make sure that things that they're saying they can't teach them, we got to teach it to them.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
We can't ignore our Black history and act like nothing happened, because it did.
That's it.
As Stuart knows, there are 2 films that I really love at this time of year, and one is The Making of a Holiday, that a local attorney put together on how the Martin Luther King holiday was established. It's called The Making of a Holiday.
Mm-hmm.
And one is Children of the Movement, and it talks about the kids that Dr. King engaged, or they engaged themselves in Montgomery during that period, and how they were so actively involved in the movement. Young people want to be engaged.
Mm-hmm.
We give them the opportunities to do positive things.
Yes, definitely.
I didn't get a chance to even share this with Denise yet, right? But she'll give you the nod if you can use it or not. But in my conversation with Andy Shalar yesterday, we can do something in the Marion room, show one of these videos and have a discussion with some of our young people. So that's something for us to discuss. He said, even day of, whatever you want to do. So we can talk about what that looks like. But I intently remember that these two videos or documentaries, actually, are things that are dear to you. So let's talk about that Saturday when we meet.
Fantastic. Okay.
All right. Well, I thank you both for being my guests today. And we're going to be promoting the podcast and encouraging people after Shay who gets it edited and over there on our channel. So we can send it around and help spread the word of what's going to be happening for Martin Luther King holiday. It's good we did it a week and a half before. Dr. Willie Jolly is going to be my guest next week.
Oh, wonderful.
It's going to be good. He's going to, I won't have to worry about no questions because Dr. Willie Jolly is going to have a word for the people for 2026.
Yeah. I can't wait to tune into that because he keeps you motivated and inspired.
Oh my goodness, setting and reaching goals is what it's all about. And I think he's got a new book he'll be talking about. So I thank you all for being my guest today. We may or may not add Dr. Julian to this. I'll see. I don't know yet. This is my first show. So we could have her on here and on a radio show, but we'll see.
Well, hopefully we blow things up, man, and everything as your inaugural guest,
Yes.
I know I would take a lot of pride in knowing that I helped to really.
Well, when I get you the copy, you try to get it out there so we can get a lot of views. You keep right on sending it.
I certainly will. I will send it out.
And Denise, you send him the promo too. So we want to use the promo because I put some music to it. Did you see it?
Yeah, it's beautiful. Your graphics person did a wonderful job.
I am the graphics person.
Oh yeah, I got a job for you then. All right, I can't.
Okay, you are everything you see about the Lyndia Grant show. I have to do it, but God is blessing us. We're moving in the direction of being able to bring on some people soon. That's why we're moving to a podcast. So I thank you all. Call me if you need something. I'm here.
Certainly go, Lyndia. Thank you so very much for having us, and
Absolutely.
we're whatever comes up next, we'll let you know, and certainly we'll help to promote the show.
All right. Thank you so much, Denise and Ron, co-chairs for the 2026 Martin Luther King holiday. What is it, the 21st year?
Yeah, that's Stuart.
Stuart Anderson. I'm sitting right here looking at his name. What did I just say?
Ron.
I'm sorry. I don't even know who
said
that
Ron.
is.
It's okay. I've been called worse.
Stuart Anderson and Denise Rolock Barnes, the co-chairs for the 2026 21st annual Martin Luther King Peace March and I add parade.
Yes.
All right. Thank you all.
All right. Take care. Be safe.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to The Lyndia Grant Show. Think on these things with your host, Lyndia Grant.
We hold these truths to be self-evident